The Russian state broadcaster has called on Vladimir Putin to unleash his underwater nuclear missile to scorch Britain from the planet. If NATO troops set foot on Ukrainian soil, propagandists said the Russian president should fire a Poseidon underwater weapon, which would generate a 1,000 feet radioactive tsunami. Retired General Evgeny Buzhinsky said 70-year-old Putin should launch the missile in the event that troops from the defensive alliance move to engage Russian forces. He said in such a circumstance, Britain will definitely not exist. The Poseidon missile wasn't the only weapon Lieutenant General Buzhinsky threatened the UK with. He also mooted the idea of striking the British Isles with the 14-story high Sarmat 2. The missile, Russia's largest nuclear explosive, would destroy the country, he claimed. The threats were made as Putin's political supporters unpicked what the Russian military could do next, following more than a year of fighting in which few gains have been made. The retired army official also claimed on Russian state TV channel Rossiya 1 that the Zircon missile, an unstoppable 6,670 miles per hour hypersonic weapon, was about to be used in combat operations, after testing. Buzhinsky said, "Of course, there are such means as Poseidon, which has been tested." Vladimir Solovyov, a broadcaster on Rossiya 1 since 2012, known as Putin's Voice, smirked and responded, "I would like to see how Poseidon works. I would like to see Sarmat in action." "Tsunami, tsunami, yes, tsunami," replied 72-year-old Buzhinsky. "If NATO sends troops, it will end up with us using Poseidon, of course, and a tsunami. And 300 meters, 985 feet, high waves." At Monday's summit in San Diego, California, Rishi Sunak, U.S. President Joe Biden and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese set out details of the latest stage of the AUKUS partnership. Under the agreement intended to counter China's increasing military assertiveness in the Pacific, Australia's security is set to be bolstered. It will also provide the Royal Navy with replacements for its 7 Astute submarines, potentially doubling the size of the fleet of its attack boats. However, in a series of tweets, the Chinese mission to the UN said the move clearly breached the object and purpose of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT. The Nuclear Submarine Cooperation Plan released today by AUKUS is a blatant act that constitutes serious nuclear proliferation risks, undermines international non-proliferation system, fuels arms races, and hurts peace and stability in the region, it said. The irony of AUKUS is that 2 nuclear weapon states who claim to uphold the highest nuclear non-proliferation standard are transferring tons of weapons-grade enriched uranium to a non-nuclear weapon state, clearly violating the object and purpose of the NPT. Such a textbook case of double standard will damage the authority and effectiveness of the international non-proliferation system. We urge the trio to honor their obligations as members of the NPT and respond to the will of the international community.